let's see some importance of atmosphere. Okay, what is the importance of atmosphere? The first thing is it traps the heat. What does it mean? So, example, if we have a sun, okay, there is a sun and the earth. Okay, so what does sun do? Of course, it sends a lot of rays, lot of heat, right? Lot of heat to the earth. So what this atmosphere does is it just maintains a right temperature to the earth. It just sends a right temperature to the earth. What does this do is sends the right temperature, right temperature to the humans. Okay, so sun doesn't directly fall on the humans. What does it does is atmosphere sends only the right amount of temperature to the humans. Okay, so this is called trap the heat. Then second importance is absorbs UV radiation. So as we was talking about stratosphere, right? We were talking about stratosphere. In stratosphere, what is the one thing that I was frequently telling you? Ozone layer, right? We have a ozone layer in stratosphere. So this ozone layer, what it does is it absorbs all the UV radiation. That means it absorbs all the harmful UV radiation, right? So this is also one of the importance of atmosphere. Okay, fine. First thing is it traps the heat. Second one is it absorbs all the harmful UV radiation. Which layer? Ozone layer. Okay. Then third one, protecting earth. What does protecting earth means? We have seen meteoroids. Right. We have seen meteoroids. What meteoroids are? Meteoroids are shooting star, right? So when this star hits the earth, which layer will burn this meteoroids? Which layer will burn this meteoroids? Which layer burns this meteoroids? Of course, mesosphere. Mesosphere burns this meteoroids, right? So it is protecting the earth. So atmosphere is protecting the earth. Atmosphere is protecting the earth. So that is what called protecting earth, right? So the first thing is it sends the right amount of temperature to the humans, and the second one is it protects harmful rays from the ozone layer, and the third one is it burns the meteoroids. So these are the three important things that atmosphere does. Okay. Okay. So till now we have seen what is atmosphere, what are the different layers in atmosphere and its uses, and we have now seen the importance of atmosphere. Okay. So now let's move on to the composition of air. What do you mean by composition of air? So composition of air means it contains different gases. Okay. So air contains different gases. So we are going to see what are the gases in the air. Okay. First thing is nitrogen. So nitrogen is 78% in the air. Why this is the most high percentage of gas among this food? Nitrogen has 78%, right? So this is the most of the air is nitrogen. Why? Because it helps plants to grow. Because it helps plants grow. Okay. So that's what nitrogen is very higher. So nitrogen is very higher. We don't use it for breath. We don't use it for breathing. What gas do we use it for breathing? Oxygen, right? We use oxygen for breathing. Okay, so the second gas is oxygen, which contains 21%. So oxygen is used for breathing. right? So we have to breathe in of oxygen. Okay, so which is 21%. Also oxygen helps for burning. Also oxygen helps for burning. Okay, helps for burning. Fine. Nitrogen is 70%, which helps plants to grow. Oxygen is 21%, which is helpful for breathing in of humans, and it also helpful for burning things. Okay. Then third one is carbon dioxide. So what is carbon dioxide used for? Humans breathe in oxygen. What does plants breathe in? What does plants breathe in? Plants breathe in carbon dioxide. Okay. Plants breathe in carbon dioxide. Fine. So oxygen is being breathed by humans. Carbon dioxide is breathed by plants. Okay. So oxygen is for humans. Carbon dioxide is for plants. Okay. Okay. Then other gases. Other gases are water vapor, argon. So these gases will be under other gases. Okay, which is 1%. 1% is of other gases. Okay, which is very tiny amount, only little amount. Tiny amount only is used in the air. Okay, fine. So if anyone asks you which is the most used air, you have to tell it as nitrogen. Why we are using nitrogen as the most used air? Because it helps plants grow. If plants grow, plants what they breathe in? Carbon dioxide, right? What they breathe in? Carbon dioxide. And what they breathe out? Oxygen, right? So if I say, let me take this as tree, okay? What they breathe in? Oxygen. Sorry, carbon dioxide, okay? What they breathe in? Carbon dioxide. What they breathe out? What they breathe out? Oxygen. Okay, what they breathe out? Oxygen. Fine. So, breathe in will be carbon dioxide, breathe out will be oxygen. This is for plants. For plants. Okay. So, that's what we are using nitrogen, oxygen and carbon dioxide most of the time. Okay, fine. So, these are the composition of air. Next, we are going to see about what are the different uses of air. Why do we use this air? As I said before, for breathing. For breathing. Human needs, what gas does human needs? Oxygen. Right? Yes, breathing. So human breathe in oxygen. Humans breathe in oxygen. Okay. Then this is the first use. This is the main useful thing for us, breathing. Okay. When there is no breathing, we can't even live. Right. So breathing is very important. So what we breathe in is oxygen. Don't ever forget, guys. Breathing is, which gas is used in breathing? Oxygen. Okay. Fine. Then second use is helps in burning. Okay, so if you want to burn any kind of things, so it helps in burning. Which gas helps in burning? Oxygen. Which helps in burning? Oxygen. Fine. Then helps birds and planes fly. So birds and planes are flying because of air. Okay. Then used in windmills. Why using windmills? Because it generates electricity. Okay. Generates electricity. We'll see about wind energy. Okay. So we'll see this in upcoming classes. Okay. Wind energy. So this is called windmill. So where we get electricity. Okay. They'll generate electricity. Fine. Okay. So then one more use is sound. Sound also needs, this is also the fourth use. Okay. Sound needs air. Okay. If there is no air in earth, if there is no air on earth, then there is no sound. Okay, so sound needs air. So sound travels through air. Okay, so this is the fourth use. Okay, first one is breathing, second one is burning, then birds and planes fly, then windmills, used in windmills, and the fourth one we saw is about sound needs to travel through air. Okay, fine. So these are the different uses of air. Now let's see some properties of air. Let's see some properties of air. So the first thing is air has weight. Does air has weight? Air has weight? Yes? Yes. Why air has weight? Air is very light. Air is very lightweight. Okay. So it's very light. So it has weight. Okay. Fine. Air is very light. So it has weight. Yes. So for example, if you take this balloon. Okay. This is a balloon. What you're going to do is, you are going to fill one balloon. You're going to fill this balloon. Okay. And another balloon which is unfilled. Okay. Which is unfilled. Fine. So you're going to fill one balloon and one is empty. Okay. You're going to hang both the balloons on the top. You're going to hang both the balloons on the top. Okay. So if you hang this balloon, what does it happens? What does it happens? The result will be the air, the balloon that contains air has more weight. It has more weight. Okay. Fine. You can try it out in your home. The balloon with air has weight. The balloon that is not filled, that means empty, has, what does it has? No weight. Okay. So what does it conclude? When there is a air in a balloon, there is more weight. We can conclude that air has weight. Okay. So this is the first property of air. Fine. Then second one, air occupies space. Does air occupy space? Yes. Let me drop this. Fine. Okay. So does air occupy space? Yes, air takes up space. Even though we can't see it. We can't even see it. Now, can we see air? No. So we can't see air. Okay. So air occupies space. Example, when you blow a balloon, it becomes big. Right. This is a balloon. When you blow it, it becomes big. Right. Becomes bigger. Why does it happen? When you blow a balloon, it becomes big. Why does this happen? Because air is filling up. Because what is happening? Air is filling up. Air is filling up. Filling up the space. Filling up the space in the balloon. Okay. So that's why balloon is occupied space. Okay. Why does balloon occupy space? Because of air. Because of air, balloon occupied all the space. Okay. So this is how the line forms. Air occupies space. Fine. Next, the last property is warm air rises up. What does warm air rises up means? Have you ever heard this word warm air rises up? So what does it mean is, when you eat air, when you eat the air, it becomes lighter and moves upward. Okay. For example, let me give you an example. Let it be an air. Okay. So when you eat this, you're going to eat the air. Okay. So what does it happens? It becomes lighter and it moves upward. It moves upward. Okay. When you eat the air, it moves upward. When you eat the air, it moves upward. That's what we have given as warm air rises up. Fine. So a simple example is a candle. Have you ever noticed the smoke from a candle? When you light a candle and watch the smoke, it will go upwards, right? The smoke in this go upwards. Smoke moves upwards, right? So this is because when a warm air is heated, air is heated, it moves up. It moves up. Okay. So this is a good example as a candle. When you light a candle, you can watch a smoke go upwards. That's called warm air rising up. That is called warm air rising up. Fine. Okay. So we have seen the three important properties. Air has weight, air occupies space, warm air rises up. Fine. So this is the properties. So from the next sections, we'll see about the formation of wind and formation of clouds, how the water cycle will be. Okay. So till now we have finished with atmosphere and the properties, uses of air.